Hey there everybody, how's it going? This is John Matthew and you're watching CineMania 24/7, the channel dedicated to movies, music, physical media, books, video games and pop culture. Welcome back to the 7th episode of the long-running Power Rangers series on this channel, and today we're going to discuss why Power Rangers Operation Overdrive was such a bad season. A season that has been one of the most infamous entries in the entire lineup for all these 30 years, and of course it has had many flaws that we have been listening to over the years. And today I'm going to compile all these flaws and give you one definitive video which can tell you why Power Rangers Operation Overdrive was so bad. Putting all that into context, please subscribe to my channel as it helps me make more content and churn out more new things. Of course, a lot of things are coming on the channel this year and I hope you like them. So without any further delays guys, let's begin. Point number one would definitely go to the poor writing of the show. I have to say this, Power Rangers Operation Overdrive looks mostly like Indiana Jones at times, but the execution is not up to the mark. It has that Indiana Jones sort of allure to itself, with a crown jewel of 5 different jewels in it, many teams of villains chasing it, and the Power Rangers also behind them, several different motives, too many villains. I'll discuss the villains in the next point anyway, but the writing sometimes just seemed to be off. A lot of the villains don't really shine out that well if you ask me. They look like caricaturish and cartoonish villains. They aren't exactly strong as Rita Repulsa or Lord Zed. They don't remind you of anything like that. Besides, the sidekicks also don't do much amount of justice to the roles anyway. You also have roles of the Rangers that are not very likable, except maybe for one or two characters here and there, but their arcs are pretty much diminished through the entire show. Putting all that into context, I guess the first point would definitely go to the poor writing of the show, which is largely attributed to a lot of factors like too many villains, a very loose plot that does not make sense sometimes, too many filler episodes in between, and that's it for writing. We discussed the point number 2, the Ranger team. Point number 2 goes for the Ranger team, where I discuss why the Rangers this time weren't exactly as likable as the previous times. You know, in all the Power Ranger iterations that you may have seen, at least 2 or 3 characters used to be likable, but this time not a single cast member was at least that likable. The Red Ranger was a caricature, let's be real. The Blue Ranger was the most irritating part of the show, again, very honest. The Yellow Ranger did have some potential, but for some reason I could not see that potential translate into reality. Apart from that, the Pink Ranger also seemed to have a good personality, but that personality gets lost in translation somewhere and doesn't exactly come out that carved and that etched as you can imagine. The Black Ranger is perhaps the only least poor character in my opinion, or let's say the only character that can be salvaged, but somewhere even he gets lost in translation. The Mercury Ranger, that is Tyzon if I'm not mistaken, Tyzon's character was okay initially, but then again something just went a little bad. He had a good backstory for sure, but then again I never saw him transpire into the cool 6th Ranger that he was supposed to be. Putting all that into context, this is point number 2. The cast was off this time, and for some reason they were not that likable. Number 3, the villains. The villains have definitely got to be the most despicable villains in the entire Power Rangers lineup. Never have I ever seen a TV show in the Power Rangers lineup have too many villains, and each of these villains was badly written. Moltor and Furious worked fine sometimes, but Camdor and Miratrix and the Shadow Cats or Thundercats or whatever they call them, I did not like them that much. Besides, there was another episode where the son of Rita Repulsa and Lord Zed comes back. They try to tie the Disney era with the Saban era of Power Rangers for some reason. That sort of works okayish if you ask me, but not really. There are just too many villains in this TV show, and none of the villains actually do well. Except maybe Furious could have been a better villain if they had removed that sidekick of his, the character called Nor. He was the most irritating character in the entire TV show, trust me guys. Moltor had a lot of potential, he could have been better as well. Miratrix was also a cool villainess, and of course she was very good looking by the way, but that good looking thing never translated something into really cool stuff, and that's the reason I believe that the villains were not done well this time. So this is point number 3 for the villains. Number 4 would definitely go to the Red Ranger. The Red Ranger, that is Mac, was not a good ranger. Let's be real. He was having a lot of potential, but the twist midway between the season that shows he's actually a robot or something, and that Mr. Hartford never had a son of his own, that was a difficult thing to swallow. Really, really difficult thing to swallow. And on top of that, if you ask me why the Red Ranger was so bad, that would obviously be poor personality that was given to his character, and the Japanese TV show Bokenger had some of the most weirdest moments for him, which got translated into this show as well. There's a point in this show where he's basically wearing a Mexican hat and a shawl, something has happened to him, and it doesn't just make sense. It looks very, very cartoonish. Very, very cartoonish. Does not look good at all. So that's point number 4 for the poorest Red Ranger I've ever seen. Point number 5 would definitely go to filler episodes in between, and except there's one redeemable thing about the show though. That redeemable thing would definitely be Once a Ranger Part 1 and 2, where we see that the Saban era and the Disney era are tied together for one episode, and we also see old Rangers from the previous shows coming back. And except there's one guy who ties the Saban era with the Disney era. That is Adam's character from Power Rangers, Zeo and Turbo, and of course MMPR seasons 2 and 3. That is the only character in the entire show who managed to connect these two eras, and of course he did not have the iconic MMPR theme song play in his background when he was introduced. That was a criminal thing to do anyway. Nonetheless, this particular episode aside, the rest of the episodes sometimes are pretty much filler episodes, and I don't feel the intensity or the seriousness as you could imagine that is expected from a show like Power Rangers. Sometimes SPD was pretty intense, RPM was ultra intense, In Space was very dark for its time, but Operation Overdrive could not be something like that. So that concludes the point for filler episodes, and now we get to the end of the video. So guys, if I put everything into context and I put everything back to place, a very poor story, too many villains, caricaturish writing, a very bad Red Ranger, filler episodes, and of course the theme song, which deserves a lot of criticism by the way, because it's a rap song that does not make much sense in a Power Rangers show. All these factors add up to the reason why Power Rangers Operation Overdrive was such a bad show. I do believe this could have been a greater show if they managed to somehow create cooler characters or more memorable characters, but that unfortunately never translated onto screen. And for some reason why, I just think this show deserved a lot more than it actually got. So this is my entire review, or let's say opinion, about Operation Overdrive, and I genuinely think this could have been a good season if they managed to indulge less. Thank you so much guys for watching the video. Please subscribe to my channel and also watch the other videos of the series as well. There are lots of videos that I'm uploading on the channel and will upload next month as well. There's a big announcement coming up soon. Without any further delays guys, take care, bye bye, stay safe. Please keep buying films on physical media. That's the best and the most amazing way to protect movies for long. Take care and Godspeed.